This one is a nice light question. Christopher De Freitas says, it was very refreshing to hear Gabe Lesler on the last podcast after such a long hiatus. It had me thinking, what were the origins of managing Madrid? Who were the founders? Where are they now if they aren't still a part of it? And is what it currently is at the moment what initially it was dreamt of being? Or did it go in a different direction? Did it take on a life of its own? As always, appreciate all the content you guys make. So I feel like you can speak to this a little bit better than me, Lucas, because you preceded me.
Yeah, well, okay. I think the two founders were Gabe and Josh Seidlin.
Yes.
I think they founded the blog like around 2009, 2010, I believe. And then they obviously weren't a part of SB Nation to begin with. Then SB Nation wanted to expand their network and their coverage of teams and franchises of the sports, and reach an agreement with them for the naming and obviously the hosting of the whole site. So they moved to SB Nation. Then there were some contributors here and there. I joined the staff back in, I feel it was the summer of 2011. So it's been a long road for me, for sure. It was the summer of 2011. I feel like one of the first games I covered and I wrote about for the site was the Super Cup final against Barcelona during Mourinho's second year. Yeah, the controversial finger to the eye, poke to the eye from Mourinho to Tito. I think it was one of the first games. And yeah, then contributors kept on coming and obviously leaving, because this wasn't a full-time job for pretty much 100% of the staff until the growth of the whole site started to increase. So obviously finding contributors who were actually putting the time to write and help the staff and cover Real Madrid was huge. And a few come to mind, like Pedro Falci, Mike Platania, many more, Tim Higgins, I think it was Tom or Tim, and and they helped in a big way, and eventually the blog ended up growing a lot, and Kiyan and I were able to focus a little bit more time on the project, and because obviously the growth allowed the site to have a bigger budget. And yeah, that's basically it. Kiyan, I recall Kiyan, he was taking care of the immediate reactions first. He was writing the immediate reactions to every game, and eventually took on the chief editor role alongside me. So where I think we're both doing a very good job taking care of the site, and hopefully we can continue with it for many years to come, because I'm very comfortable working with Kiyan, and I feel like we're pretty much on the same page on how the site needs to cover Real Madrid and all that.
Yeah, I really love the family we built here, and I sometimes sometimes people ask me like how do I do networking and so I can be a part of things like this. People sometimes don't realize if you build something together with people on your own kind of wavelength and frequency, that's almost better than trying to network with people who are quote unquote above your level or ahead of you, if you know what I mean. So if you look at all of these people who made it in the journalism world, they all started with nothing. If you look at everyone who started at Grantland or The Ringer, everyone at Managing Madrid who has a pretty big following now, we didn't start that way, I emailed you. That's how I got started. I emailed you, and at the time I was doing Raptors stuff, and I was going to Raptors games as press, and I think you even saw my profile picture which was I was interviewing an NBA player.
Right.
And you told me I was overqualified, and in my head I was like, "That's hilarious." I'm not even really making any money, but I went along with it. And you brought me on. That's how I got started. Ohm started writing fan posts. That's how he got started. Matt emailed Gabe and I for the podcast a couple of years ago, I think it was. So all of us kind of just brought up. I think we all complement each other, and we grew it together, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, in terms of how I started, I remember I was a big fan of the SB Nation's blog about the Denver Nuggets back when I was in the US. So this was 2008 or 2009 even. So as soon as I saw that SB Nation was expanding and basically creating a blog for Managing Madrid, I reached out to Gabe, who knowing how my level of English was at the time, he was very. I'm very grateful for Gabe for the opportunity he gave me. I obviously didn't start, but I mean every article I wrote was for free until the site started to grow a lot, and obviously allowed me to concentrate a little bit more on my reporting side of things. But yeah, it was a long road, as I mentioned, for many years. We weren't basically receiving nothing more than a little contribution, and basically a little contribution for our effort. It was not like it was not closer to a quote unquote job like it is now. So it's I'm very grateful for Gabe because of the opportunity he gave me back in the day, and obviously I'm very happy to work alongside you. Yeah.
Yes, summer of 2018, I think, was the turning point in terms of actually getting decent money from this site to be able to do it full time. And then, before that, when I was doing MBA stuff, I was making $10 an article, I think it was, and that was writing for Raptors Republic, which was an ESPN True Hoops Network blog.
ESPN.
And I was making $10 an hour. So like I have $10 an article rather, and so that's not going to pay anything. It's not going to pay any bill really. So I basically was for free. But sometimes people just have to it's persistence, like all of us stuck to it because we loved it. A lot of people will come and go because they just don't have the patience, and I don't blame them, to be quite honest, because it's very difficult industry, and you're not going to make that much money, not right away anyway. So yeah,
the patience or the passion. Because I feel
both,
you need to be very passionate to stick around for those years. We've both spent basically without getting any money for covering Real Madrid and all that. Basically, I remember that for my last years of college, I was already getting the press passes and the press accreditations to cover Real Madrid in Madrid. And for the listeners who don't know, I live in Valencia, which is like 3-hour drive to Madrid back and forth. So, and I was still in college, and I had to go to college to attend the classes and all that. So I was going to Madrid, and then I was getting to Valencia like around 6 a.m. and then straight to class, basically getting sleep in the bus. So yeah, it's been a long road. And about the current situation of the site and whether it was actually intended to be this way or not, I feel like maybe it wasn't intended to be as focused on breaking news and as it is maybe right now. But this is the way the industry has gone, and I feel like we're still getting high quality content from many writers who aren't focusing as much on breaking news as I am. For example, I feel like I'm pretty much taking care of the breaking news side of things. Whether when I was started for the site, I was focusing more on maybe recaps or even editorials or other stuff, not as frequent as breaking news, which is you need to have them. You need to cover breaking news. At the end of the day, I think those big breaking news are what gets you clicks, and then you need obviously to take part of the other side of things, which is the quality content and the analytics and all that. And I feel like we've reached a very good balance of still having and still covering this analytical side of things in terms of Real Madrid, while still obviously covering the breaking news, which is at the end of the day what probably gets you the most clicks. But I feel we've reached a good balance, and it's not easy to do so in the way the industry has been working for the last few years. And obviously we also have to thank SB Nation, because they allow us to obviously to basically make a living out of watching Real Madrid play. And also because I feel like they give us creative freedom in the way we want to cover Real Madrid, Kiyan. I think that we are basically taking the site where we want to take it. And again, I feel like we've reached a very good balance from breaking news and also analytical and quality content.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, a lot of it is they basically don't really interfere with us, but they're always there to answer questions if we have, like just on Slack and stuff. So it's actually very helpful. And not micromanage at all. And it requires a team, like all those things you mentioned. Like, I don't think it pays the bills if you only did tactical analysis, for example. You need
Right.
the hits. And part of the reason why shows like Il Chiringuito are so successful, whether we like it or not, is because of the dramatizing, the storytelling, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the kind of the clickbaity nature, which is necessary to pay the bills. But I love the balance. I kind of look at it as a one-stop shop. We attend everything as press. We have people on the ground. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but we do when it's needed. We have a fun tone. We have a smart tone. We have all the news that you need. We have everything. Like I'm pretty proud of it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you can pretty much also find every Real Madrid statement on the site, and I think that's important also. I don't think that, if you need to cover the tactical side of things and the analytics and all that, maybe some people will get lost on whether actually Carvajal, for example, has been back to training and all that. So I believe that covering the breaking news and the statements and the daily news from Real Madrid, which are obviously a lot in a club of Real Madrid size, I think that we've found a very good balance. Yeah.
I think the next step and the next kind of direction that I would like it to go in is more of like more video content, but like sitting down into a physical studio, where everyone can kind of just enter this nice, cool studio with a round table with a bunch of posters on the wall, and sit down with a coffee, espresso, a drink if you drink or whatever, and just sit and talk football and do that. And I don't know where
that might be the future of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that would be because we're all in different places, but I think it would be cool to
Right.
kind of have that feature.